we do have an epidemic of lost minds, whether it's from drugs or various sorts of fanaticism and egoic obsession, all types of directions we could be going. And here you are entertaining the possibility of liberation of your mind. I find that incredibly honorable. So thanks again for hanging out. And let's see what the text has to say. The great Garuda Tantra states, mind is such that it is never defined by extremes. It seems to everyone that the lower states of samsara exist, but in truth they do not, being like dreams, illusions, or castles in the sky. It is impossible for these false perceptions to carry the weight of truth. Very good. So that's referring to the 6 realms of conditioning in the desire realm, or they're all within a desire realm. And so even if there are hells and ghost realms and or dimensions, we can think of them, then even they are only dreaming. You see, this is a kind of good news. So, but it's not good or bad, because the bad part is the dream's very convincing, and you could be stuck in it for a very long time. So it's not exactly peachy, but at the same time, I suppose we can take solace in the fact that beings are always free. They always have been freed. So let's go to discerning the implications. Now the implications of oneness can be discerned. One implication that can be discerned is that, in the absence of dualistic perceptions, openness is wholly positive. And for those who can't see the text, it's WHOLLY, holy, as in inclusive embrace, rather than holy as in any religiosity. So it's going back to the root verses concerning the facets of the nature of phenomena. One implication that can be discerned is that they constitute self-knowing, timeless awareness as openness, empty yet lucid. Now, this is me speaking. I'm just going to kind of reiterate. When the watcher, the observer, that sense of me separate from my environment, which is great, it's awesome, it helped us do a lot of stuff, it protected us, and it's wonderful. But if you're talking about true release into enlightenment, then that conditioning needs to release. I'm sorry, that's the great divorce, okay? Those are the eggshells, almost like we've become friends with our eggshells. We don't want to leave them. We've broken through, our head is sticking out, and we still don't want to let the eggshells go. It can be a real part, but we can bow to these eggshells, all right? But I want to say, it says free of dualistic perception. It's exactly the theme in the air right now. That pattern of egoic consciousness. The very thing that many cultures of materialism, they try to reinforce that. Me, I, look at me, and da 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 da. They really enforce that egoic consciousness and never have gotten a chance to even uh, look at the other side of the grass, right? Because what is it like without that egoic patterning? That's what we have to start to see. Slowly, we start to see the proof. Wow, no fear. Wow, no cycling into compartmentalized dimensions of suffering. Wow, no reacting in ways that I feel shameful about and regret. All these things you start to see. Well, yeah, maybe these eggshells, I can let them go. The egoic, it seems cool when you're wearing your Gucci and you're making your TikToks, but there's so much suffering embedded in that. So anyway, let me address Makia comment here. Will you please help me understand what the word implication means here? Yeah, when you discern the implication, uh, that's what does openness imply? What are the implications of openness itself? Well, the implications are there's no subject and object. It's complete openness. Another implication, I suppose, could be ineffability, that this is beyond the intellect. Right? That ineffability is an implication. Um, yeah. Here it said the implication would be openness is empty yet lucid. So there's cognizance here, there's awareness, but it's empty of any location. It's empty of any contracted, substantially separate existing location or any type of reference point. So the implication of openness is that it's emptiness, but it's still knowingness. So we avoid the extremes of nihilism because there's still awareness here, this cognizance, purely present. Yet we avoid the extreme of eternalism because this cognizant doesn't exist anywhere. Right? Making sense? So, like the implications of a shirt would be that it has holes in it, that it's made out of fabric, that one puts it on to their torso. Those are the implications of the shirt. So, the implications of openness would be that it's free of subject and object and all these things I described. All right. Well, if it's not totally sinking in, I think that's okay. Because remember, we're not really aiming to intellectually grasp this stuff. It's basically saying, hey, look at your openness right now. It's empty and it's lucid. Yeah, good inquiry. And I usually, these days, try not to break in the root verses, but I wanted to break this time to discuss that, to get a little bit more into what does that mean, freedom from dualistic perceptions. So I'll continue reading, and hopefully this will complement my explanation and the main point. So, not constrained by being perceived as subject, beyond being perceived as an object, and without any point of reference, wide open clarity is unrestricted. Enlightened beingness, undistracted, for all recollection has been exhausted, is expansive openness like space, neither meditation nor non meditation. This is the vast expanse of enlightened being, wholly positive. Uh, can you go back up a little bit? So, such beautiful verses, aren't they? Oh man, it's like drinking nectar when I hear these. Um, Look at that, without any point of reference, wide open clarity. That's why we can talk about awareness as a clear light. And it's exactly like space, everybody. This is where I'm asking you to trust, okay? If you're contemplative, a yogi, whatever, mind scientist, the awareness is like space. It's unchanging. It's holding your experience. You don't need to create it. Just get out of its way. Yeah. And the only difference is there's a knowingness. There's a active cognizance. We don't really have the right terminology for that. It's a rigpa. It's Yeshé Ningpo. It's Sherab. It's the wisdom mind. It has so many blessed kind of names. The nomenclature is endless, but um, we're meant to release any labeling into ineffability, right? Into this, it's alive. There's something alive that's like space holding all of our experiences, that feeling, that subject, and those objects are now all one. And paradoxically, there's still a dance. We can still talk to each other and see each other, right? Okay, beautiful. So let's see what auto commentary goes into. regardless of how consciousness arises in response to apparent phenomenon, to rest yet remain alert within an expansive, naked, and naturally pristine state, without prolonging thought processes, is to discern the implications of ultimate and wholly positive enlightened being as supreme and uninterrupted openness. Wow, that is one long sentence, but let's go into it. Regardless of how conditioned consciousness arises in response to phenomenon. So let's say I see a raven fly by, and oh wow, look at that raven. That would be consciousness responding to apparent phenomenon. But I rest and remain alert. Remain is a dicey word in that context. You just relax into alertness would be more accurate, because awareness is already wide awake. And so you relax into that expansive, naked, and naturally pristine state without going into thoughts about the raven. Was it purple? Was it black? It was purple and black. Obviously, I've done that. So, but even, you can do that without grasping. That wouldn't exactly fall under prolonging thought processes if there's a lack of grasping in it. So that is to discern the implications of ultimate, wholly positive, enlightened being. So just resting here and allowing yourself to be with the ravens in that wholeness, all of that. Me just seeing the ravens, and even if I thought about if they were purple or black, all that was within wholly positive, enlightened mind. Yeah, an uninterrupted openness. Very good. So thank you, Yeshé, for facilitating another dose of Dharma today. I appreciate you so much. And then all friends who were here today, helping keep the nest going, especially new people sort of uh, going into this Dzogchen stuff. They're really interested in it, so it's safe for us to keep it going. And it's such a wonderful deed to humanity and to the world that, don't forget, yeah, you're getting something out of this, but when you come here, your presence is making a sangha. It's making a space for other people to get something out of this. So even if you've heard things 3 or 4 times, remember, somebody else may just be hearing them for the first time, and you can still do familiarization, and you can still hang out and have fun and stuff like that, and go into deep talks and sharing and things that we do here. Um, but please don't let it become, where it's mundane, and where you're kind of getting sick of it, right? We want to have that freshness and release. So anyway, yeah, I'm just kind of saying I appreciate you being a nest for other practitioners, and those of you who are just warming up, and you are also very much appreciated. So I was booted out of Jitsi. It kept on recording, but there was that break. Okay. Yeah, I don't even have high expectations for the recordings because I know they could do anything they want to on any given session. So, however it goes, fine. All right, very good. So, any final thoughts, sharing before we check out today? Okay, very good. We'll take a moment of silence for the dedication. And deep bow to you once again, my friends. I do hope you have a beautiful day. Take care.